going to show you how to batch out 30 real estate posts right now. I'm going to do it live without any cuts or any edits. So right now it is 1:50 p.m. All right, let's get going. So I'm going to have open Canva on one side and ChatGPT on the other side, so you can kind of see how I work back and forth between the two to get help with AI to make things go even faster. And I'm going to, let's do number one on my little list here, is talk about 11 different content types. So what I like to do with real estate agents is to help them show up online without social media becoming their full-time job. And so we batch out 10 different content pillars and then also work in seasonal content that actually makes sense for that time of year, time of day, or specific day, so that you don't seem tone deaf when you're posting something, for example, 4th of July or holidays, Thanksgiving, tax season, things like that. So this is how the content breaks out when I'm working with people to actually post out one post every single day, so 365 posts. So we do the 10 pillars are these here: engagement, so trying to get engagement from the audience, frequently asked questions and myths to bust, how to educational, tough conversations in real estate, story time, reviews, testimonials, service spotlight, focusing on your local area and community to really show that you're active and engaged locally, personal story, and behind the scenes. So what I like to do is do like one post from each type and then rotate it back so that there's always like fresh content, and we'll create different templates for each of the 10 and then rotate it between the 10 so things never look stale or too formulaic to the viewer. There's a lot of mixing it up. And then the seasonal, we do 15 out of those and mix those in on relevant dates where they show up. So that's kind of like a quick overview of like what your whole strategy could look like. But in this session, we're going to batch out just one of those so you can see how it looks in action. And for a little bit of background, if you don't know me, my name is Laura, and I'm a former licensed California real estate agent. I'm a former teacher, and now I built content systems for real estate agents. So I know the world from both sides. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to sit down and batch create content so that it doesn't take over your life, but you can start showing up more online. And that's more and more important than ever these days, because even if you get a referral, people are checking you out on social media and other digital platforms to make sure you're legit. And so you want to show up, build authority, and give educational content and just really show up and show that you understand modern marketing and modern communication. Okay, so what I like to do is go into Canva and just click on like mobile video. So in general, having short videos are more engaging than just plain images or text, and you can post it on a lot of different platforms. Actually, let me see here. Well, these are like some core platforms that we talk about. Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Snapchat, Threads is a growing opportunity for real estate agents because it's less saturated than Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube Shorts, etc. Okay, so I like to come in over here and I like to kind of just get a frame started. You absolutely can click on templates and you can search for things. I kind of like to look for like modern or like simple design ones. Like here's a nice one where it's just kind of like a video playing in the background and then text showing up slowly. So you can kind of look through here and see, like this one's kind of nice. Depends on your brand and the kind of the look that you like, or you can just build something from scratch. So when I'm building something from scratch, I like to come and grab a frame. So anytime you see this in Canva, it just means that that's where you're going to put in some content. So I like to build out a frame. Actually, I like to kind of, oops. And I think I just locked that. Didn't mean to do that. So I like to add in just a blank thing in the back and maybe give it a color. Let me see. Let me go to my brand kit. So if you have a pro account in Canva, which you don't need to do in order to do a lot of this, it's just a little bit more manual if you have a free account. But if you've got a paid account, you can come in and save different brand palettes, which makes it a lot faster when it comes to creating content and making things look on brand. So I put a color behind, and then I'm going to make this semi-transparent. I like to do that sometimes. So let's see, let's do this like 50%. Okay. So we'll put in a photo or a video right here in a moment. But I do like this to be like at least about 5 seconds or so. And then we can come and add some text. All right. So basically I'm just building a basic frame where we're going to input the data. So I'm going to say main on text hook goes here. And then I like to size it how I like. Let's say I'm going to do 50, 51's fine. I personally don't like how it defaults to 1.4. I feel like that's too much. So I like to usually do 1.1 or 1.2. That's just the line gaps between. And then generally I try to keep the main text generally in the middle of the screen, because if you go too low here, it's going to get overlapped by your profile picture or the caption text that previews. If you go over here, it's going to get overlapped by the different engagement buttons. And if you go up too high here, then it often will get cut off in a lot of the previews. Like if you're just scrolling through someone's account on Instagram, it doesn't show that whole amount. So I like to keep the most important stuff here in the middle generally. So you can kind of go like this and it'll show you where things are centered. You can also come in here. Here's a little pro tip. You can add on some guides. So you can do like custom, let's just do 2 columns so you can see exactly where it is in the middle. We don't need a gap. And then rows, let's do, I think it's 4 rows. Let me see how that works. Yeah, okay, cool. So now you can see exactly where the middle is, and these lines won't stay on when you export, but I like to keep my important stuff below this line and above this line generally. If it goes a little bit beyond, that's fine, but I kind of remember, okay, this is that center core box that's really important to keep things visible. So you could go right here in the center, but if our text is really long, it might start going down a little bit. So you could just kind of pop it up just a bit here and you'll see what I mean in a second. Okay, so let's say that looks good. You could even add in like a secondary hook and maybe put like read more in the caption. It could be like your little CTA to get people to want to do more. Okay, so I'm just gonna make that a little bit smaller. You could also add in different things to kind of make the text pop off of the screen. But for now, let's just leave it like that. Okay, so we're gonna come back to that in a second. Let's come over here now and say, I am a seasoned real estate agent, let's say in Southern California, and I want to write 35 posts. What I want to start with are compelling hooks on screen on top of short videos. The goal is to stop the scroll of sellers. Buyers okay too, but do 70 to 80% seller focused, and get them to want to read the caption for more information, as well as position me as the go-to authority in my area. Let's see, I'll say my area is, let's do Mission Bay and San Diego, just as an example. Okay. As a little AI tip, if you ever feel like, oh, I'm not sure if my prompt is really good, you can say, ask me questions before writing until you are 90% sure we are on target. All right, let's see how it does. And if you ping me in the comments of this video, I'm happy to share out the prompt that comes out or anything from this video if that helps you to implement this faster. All right, so this says, first positioning, what exact area do you want to own? Mission Bay only, Pacific Beach, Crown Point, blah, blah. Okay, dream seller. Okay, these are all really amazing topics, which I'm This is even more than I expected. So I'm not going to answer them all in this video. I'm going to say, great questions. Assume you know best and move forward. I'm not even sure if I spelled everything right, but that's okay. When you're going fast, AI can totally figure it out. All right, perfect. Okay, cool. Mission-based sellers. The perfect time to sell is not what most people think. Before you price your mission-based home, look at this one thing first. A beautiful home can still sit if this part of the listing is wrong. Okay, cool. So, of course, you can spend a little bit of time going back and forth and making sure these are absolutely perfect and exactly what you want. But I'm going to assume that we're good to go because I want to show you the next step really fast in this training. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of these. Now, sometimes when I copy and paste it over, it includes like this. Or I'll actually show you so that you don't get stuck. Oop, let me move these over. Those need to be aligned perfectly because I want it to all be 5 seconds. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over and look for apps. Where's apps? Oh, Bulk Create's already showing right here. If you can't find it, you can just click on apps and then you could search for Bulk Create. Now, I think this is only possible if you've got the pro account for Canva. So if you have only the free account, I'll show you what you have to do. It's a little bit more manual, but if you've got the pro account, you can do this as I'm showing you, or you can even do a free trial for 30 days for Canva and try it out if you like that. So I click on Bulk Create and then enter data manually, clear out the table, and then I paste it right here. Oh, this actually went perfect. So sometimes it adds an extra line break between here. And if that were the case, then I would just come back to ChatGPT, paste all of it in here, and then just recopy it directly because that kind of strips out the extra line breaks that I found. Okay, so I'll just give this a title too so we remember. Say like, what was it, like SDFAQs? I forgot what we ended up doing this one. But it's just like SD agent hooks. Okay, so we got SD agent right here. That's what we just pasted in all those 35 that AI created. So now what we do is click on this text. This is where we want this to import automatically for us. And we click on the 3 dots and then connect data. And then we link it to what we just did. So now you can see that it's linked because it has a little purple bar with a little paperclip type of a thing. And then you hit continue, create 35 designs, view design. Okay, so we're almost there, getting so close. Okay, so you can see now we've got 35 posts and there's a couple things we got to fix, a little bit of overlap. But we've got 35 posts done really, really fast. Now, one thing I actually wanted to show before let's go back. Let's say we made a mistake. And actually, I kind of wanted to show you what it looked like with the image inside. So let me go out of here and go back to elements. Let's do like house in Mission Bay. Let's see if it comes up with that. San Diego. Oh, there's a Coronado Bridge. That's nice. Okay, so let's say I wanted to grab this and I'm going to put this inside of our frame. See how it's like, it's kind of pushing inside there. And I might just move this over just a smidge. Okay, cool. Now this video, where'd it go? Oops, I think I did it twice. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that's on there. All right, perfect. It worked to 5 seconds. Now, every once in a while, you find a video that you love and it's really long. So you just come up here and you just say, oh, I only want it to be 5 seconds. You can even reposition which 5 seconds that you use from it. And you're good to go. All right, 4.9, that's fine too. Well, I want it to all be lined up perfectly. Let's put this on 5. Why does it keep going to 4.9? Okay, maybe I pushed that too far. I don't know. Okay. All right, let's make sure that's good to go. Okay, so one thing I did notice when we bulk created it, some of the items were kind of long and it went over on top of the read more caption. And also some of these don't look like perfectly centered. So let me come right back here. I'm going to select both of these and I'm going to double click those lines and hit position. And I'm going to make sure those are centered. Perfect. There we go. I'm kind of a nerd for making sure things look really aligned. Otherwise, I feel like it just cheapens the look of it when it's a quick fix. And I'm just going to move this up just a hair so that we have less of that issue happening. Now we can just come right back to Bulk Create. Let me show you. Where'd you go? Enter data manually. It's already still in there. Done. It's already connected. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to hit create 35 designs. And now this time you're going to see we've got the same thing, but now instead of it just having a frame for each one, we have that exact video in the back of each one. And things are more centered, they're more aligned, and things are not overlapping anymore. So if you ever export when you're doing Bulk Create and you're like, oof, there's issues, just go back to your original template, make the changes on the template, and then re-export so that you don't have to make those changes on every one. So I'm going to move this one to trash because I don't need it anymore. Because now we got this one. All right, cool. So now if you're happy with it, as is, you're done. You've got 35 posts. And you could even mix these in between your listing posts so things are not always just sell, 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 buy, 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 you know, types of content. But let me show you one last thing. If you were like, all right, I love this video, but I don't want it to be the same each and every time. Now all you have to do is just come in and let's say like, I'll do Coronado Bridge. All right, things got a little bit buggy on my computer, so it's now 2:10. I had to pause it for a couple minutes. I put in this Coronado Bridge video, and you can see cars driving on there, but it's 34 seconds long. So if I want it to just align with what we've got, then I would just change it back down to 5, and now that's more aligned. Let me close this with the look of things. Okay, cool. So, you can also add things like animation. So if you want your text to show up slowly or the read more caption to appear later, if you want that consistently across all of your posts, you would just edit it in the original template. Let me show you so you can just hit animate here and you can just do that in the template and then it'll show up in all the posts that you export. Or if you want it to look differently for each one, then you would do it individually to all of these 35 we've got here. So you could absolutely drop in images, videos from Canva, from your own going around town in your own content, which takes it even to the next level. But you can really quickly customize these versus sitting down and just trying to start fresh every single day, trying to think like what in the world to post. So I love sitting down and batching this out in a content session and then click on share, download, and you want to download them as separate files. And so that's only possible also with Canva Pro. If you don't have that Canva Pro, you can do it. You just have to individually do the pages one at a time. So, you know, maybe adds an extra 10, 15 minutes to doing that. I wanted to also show you, if you don't have the Canva Pro account, which I do think is truly worth it. So once you have your template, let me show you how you can do that for the free version. So you can just click on this and just hit copy, paste. Actually, let me maybe not do copy, paste. Let's just hit duplicate here. So Command D on a Mac, and that just duplicates it. So you could just go and just click that 35 times. Say I did it 17 times. And then you can just edit it from here. Of course, you'd have to copy and paste the hook that we had created from ChatGPT into there. So you can see Bulk Create really does save you time, but it's possible to still do it with a free account. Okay, so let's go back to ChatGPT and say like we're good to go, but now we want captions for each one. Okay, I'm gonna say great. Now we want captions to go with each of the posts. Make sure the first line in the caption is different from the hook on screen, but adds curiosity, intrigue, and or value somehow. Make the captions easy to scan, written at the 5th grade reading level, and meaty enough to be worth someone's time for reading it. Then, of course, you can also add any CTA you want. So you could be like, oh, and if you're asking for business, you want to include your department or real estate number. So you could even say, add my DRE number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. I'm just making this up on each post for compliance. as well as my contact info and the CTA of DM me value to see what my home is worth. Make up the contact info for now, or put placeholder text. Okay, I just want you to see a rough idea of this and not make it 100% perfect. Okay, so here are 35 different content posts. Here are the captions. So the hook, so this is the one, number one, Mission Bay, your seller's perfect time is not whatever. Here, so we've got this as a caption that you can then use. Okay, it just made up stuff for me. That's great. So now you know exactly what your caption could be that goes with that video out on social media. And you can sit down and open up Meta Business Suite, schedule this out for Facebook and Instagram. You could sit down once a month and just batch out content that you want scheduled for the next coming month. You can use other tools, like I use a tool called GoHighLevel, and you're able to schedule out content even farther in advance. And their APIs don't send it out until closer to, just because I think that you're restricted currently in just like 30 days or 45 days approximately, depending on the platform for how far you can schedule things out. But this is a great way to make sure you always show up even when you're busy, and never let the pipeline slow down or miss a chance to really convert those referrals who are maybe checking you out and seeing if you look like a legit agent. You don't want to just completely ghost your social profiles. We all are online these days so much, and your customers definitely are too. So you want to show up where they are and make sure you're adding consistent value without it taking over your life, and you don't even have to dance on TikTok. Okay, so it is now 2:16. Let's call that 2:15. So 1:50 to 2:15, 25 minutes with a couple minutes of glitch in between. But we were able to batch out 30 posts. Let me see, make sure I hit everything that I wanted to cover. 11 content types, ChatGPT for hook writing, Bulk Create, AI caption, and well, the system I built for my clients, I kind of showed you a little bit on here, but I basically have 350 posts of all those different 10 categories, and then 15 seasonal posts worked into that as well. So you can kind of see how that breaks down. Let me see here. So we got 35 of each of these different types, and then 15 seasonal worked in. And that's how I help people to really make sure that they post every single day by batch creating it, customizing and tweaking it a little bit, but they are just hitting the ground running. So please let me know if you have questions in the comments, and I will absolutely come back and answer them. And I hope that this was helpful. See you next time.